Hi, Cameron. All right. So, welcome. Hi, Wayne. So next week is Zoom. Let me just double check that. Yeah. Next week is Zoom. I should post the links in, and I'll post them in early. Hi, Paul. So that if people can't make it, they can, if they want to say anything, they can say it there. Hi, Maddie. So let's go. Right. Let's see. Let's see what comes out. You never know. Make sure my camera. Okay. Yeah. It's actually hot in Spain again. It's taking its time. Hi, Joy. Connection's unstable. Can you all hear me okay? Let me just change something. Back in a sec. So it's still unstable. Damn it, technology. Have I frozen? Am I still here? Have I crashed? Not unstable for me. Okay, from here. Maddie says yes. Hi, Jara. Fine here. Okay. Okay, all right, thank you. I've got this big sign saying, your connection is unstable. Alert, alert. Okay, whatever. So, freedom, the most beautiful, the most refreshing. I'm unstable. Well, this place is unstable. This reality thing, appearance, construct, creation, whatever you want to call it, is completely unstable. I think that we hold on to it because we think that it offers some stability. It actually doesn't. It actually trying to hold on to this appearance of things actually creates a lot of instability. It does the opposite. Get the whole idea of holding on to appearances and turn it completely the other way up. You know, we think it's going to offer us something. We're actually going to get there. We're going to be finally get there. You know, whatever it is, whether it's enlightenment or feeling like I got there, I finally got there. No. Holding on to that in the appearance will never get anybody anywhere, because this place is completely unstable, and it will prove it by literally getting rid of everything that is, including the body. It'll get rid of everything. It's totally unstable. And that sounds kind of scary, but it's not. It's the most freeing thing. It really, really is. Because then nothing really matters in that way. All that's left that matters is what really matters. You know, living your life, enjoying your life, caring for the people you care for, loving who you love, loving what you love. Those things, whatever they are, only those things really matter in the end. But we try to make everything okay by trying to work it out in existence. And existence is completely unstable. Thank God. It's interesting. It's a challenge. I know. Fearlessness is a beautiful way to live. It's free of concept. It's free of restraint. Fearlessness and freedom to me go hand in hand. To live completely fearlessly. This place can't do anything to me. Not anything. It can't do anything. Because it's not in control. Nothing's in control. Nothing's in control. Nothing's in control of the life that is, whatever that is. That's just free and already is. Sorry, get more comfortable. We think that these bodies are stable. Now, science, I'm not a big science person. I like science, but I'm not into scientism. But science has already, established the idea that the body and everything else in this manifestation is actually more space than matter. And even the matter itself is, when it comes down to the atomic level, isn't actually physical. It's a frequency. It's a vibrating. It's a, what's the word I'm looking for? A resonance. It's a resonance. And then they go inside the atom and find that it's just electrons. It's electricity. It's not physical. So this body is actually more space than it is frequency atoms. So, we can get upset about what happens, or if someone says something, or you can get into an argument or disagreement, but it's literally space and billions of frequency atoms and electricity disagreeing with each other. When you see that that's the case, humans can get so petty about the smallest things, but it's just basically this frequency field, or whatever you want. I don't know what this is, but it's not what we're told it is. What we're told it is a really mundane, controlling narrative, which has no reality in it whatsoever. And it creates so much fear. You may notice, especially in the last few years, that the whole world is trying to promote fear. Never mind the upbringing and the school and the education and all the rest of it. Fear, uncertainty, doubt. You notice it's always that stuff. It never says like, wow, these bodies are literally more space than so-called physical matter. And we think it's all so important. And it is, in a way. It is, because love's important. Kindness is important in the natural state, in the natural law of things. You know, we all know that. It's not some mystery. When we see somebody hurting someone, like, you know, in the street or something, there is a reaction. There is a reaction. It's natural. But I'm talking about caring about every little thing. Every little thing that someone thinks about you or me. Every little opinion, every little tiny nothing. It's just energy, this energy field that feels real, having an argument or a disagreement. It's lunacy. And it just occupies everybody's mind most of the time. I should, I shouldn't, I wish I could, I shouldn't have. These things. It's a prison and it's unnecessary because it's not true. The only thing that is sitting here not knowing what the hell this is, what the hell I am, or caring actually, and knowing that somehow I'm completely untouchable. Somehow underneath it all, that is the case. What is the fundamental isness of it? The fundament of being here, the fundament of life is absolutely untouchable because that never moves. The things move. I don't know who was it who said the only constant is change. Well, the only constant really is this, and we could see that in our own lives, our own living experience, because that is the case, isn't it? Like sometimes we've talked about, you know, has this changed in the whole time we've been alive? 4 years old, 10 years old, 30, 60, 80. Has it ever changed? Never changed. That is completely untouchable. And it's that which is the fundament, the ground, the ground of it all. But there's no ground for the personality to walk upon, you know, for the thinking, beliefs, and the beliefs, really. There's no ground for the beliefs to walk upon. It's so free, so wonderfully free, and so wonderfully fearless. It doesn't matter what happens to this, to me, to the body, Lisa. It's going to be all taken away anyway. So I've got nothing to lose. There's nothing to lose. And yet we spent all our time worrying about petty stuff, wondering how can I get free? Well, the freedom is already here. It's the petty stuff. Trying to control this ever constantly changing field of stuff, whatever it is. You can never get hold of it. You can never control it. It's totally wild. So, blow my nose. Anyway, does anybody have anything to say, or anything to ask, or anything to engage in about that, or anything else, actually? Actually, being stuck here in Spain because I refuse to take certain medical procedures is I'm missing the danger. Like, please give me some danger. The custom danger, the danger I enjoy, you know. Because there's nothing to fear. Fear is a program. of worry, and concern, and control. It's a program. Nothing more. And it never gets us anywhere. Has it actually got anybody anywhere? Never got me anywhere. It's just banging my head against a brick wall. Thinking if I keep banging my head against a brick wall, eventually I'm going to break through, but it never happened. Never, ever happened. And one of the main things that people really worry about is what other people think. We're worried about the electrical charge in another person's head and what it's saying. Oh damn, you look at it, when you really look at it, you can see the uselessness in it, the futility in it. We think this is so set in stone. It's not set in stone. I don't know what it is. I'm sure it's different for everybody. I'm sure every single being has this total unique expression. Totally unique. There isn't one truth. One truth. What there is one of is fear programming. That is a very collective program that most people buy into. But when that program is broken, you just don't know what you just don't know what I can't even express my life. I don't know anything about it, but it's unique. Because I know, because I talk to the people and they're completely different. Each one is so utterly unique. But the common denominator between most people, there's that uniqueness, but the common denominator is fear, which manifests as worry, concern, control, trying to work it out. We're never going to work out, in my experience anyway, I can only say this in my experience, I am never going to work out how to do life. Never going to work it out, how to get it right. So I gave up. And guess what? Life still happens. Living still happens. It still happens regardless. It makes no difference. In fact, it's better. Giving up trying to control life, living, not life, you can't control life. Trying to control living in my head was painful and useless and never got me anywhere. One of the worst things that used to be for me, and especially my late 20s, early 30s, was caring what other people thought. Caring that they might not like what I think or what I say or what I do. It's a complete waste of time. Caring what people think of you. And it's all in the head anyway, because most people aren't thinking about me anyway. They're too busy thinking about their own lives. So, so it's not, and also it's all in one's own head. Yeah, that's a big one. Can you speak more about that, please? Caring about what people think of you. Yeah. It's a waste of time because they don't really give a shit. You know the people who give a shit because they're just there for you. They're just there for you. They don't judge you. But everybody else, it doesn't matter what they think about you, because what's it going to do? What's it going to do? Caring about what one person thinks about anything, actually. I'm surrounded by neighbours, and we're all so completely different. I don't know if they're thinking about me or not. Probably not. I think I'm a little bit of an enigma that they don't really know how to handle, really, you know. And I know that, and that's okay. But if I cared what they thought about me, or imagined what they thought about me, because most of it's imagined, you see. I could imagine that they think there's the weirdo that lives across the street who doesn't do anything by the book. They may or may not think about me like that. I could be imagining it. Imagine if I cared. I would just be wasting my beautiful, beautiful air. The beautiful life that is so wild and big, all narrowed down to wondering what they think about me. Why would I care what they think about me? It's because I would believe that what they're thinking about me is real. I would think that my personality traits that they believe me to have were real, and there's something wrong with them. Your character is your character. Everybody has one. My cat has one. It's innate. It's the flower. It's the flower. And not all characters, meet. Some of them just don't meet. Sometimes you meet a character, you come across someone and you just meet. But, you don't a lot. Is there anything you want to say specifically about that I could maybe address? Because I care a lot about that. And I think it's a big one for a lot of people. Because first of all, the people you think who are thinking about you, it's just a projection for a start. It's an imagined story. Secondly, we don't know what another person is. We don't. And I think of Karen and Bill across the road. I don't know what they are. Strange creatures that live across the road. Quite nice people, actually. Very different from me. But, that's cool. I give them plants. Seeking approval is right. Yeah, well, yeah, it really, really is. Let's look at that. Approval. Why would I need approval? Why would I need approval? Why does one need approval? I need this person to approve of me. It's a fake construct. This thing that thinks it needs approval is fake. It's not real. It's a thought process. It's a thought process thinking it needs approval. Because you don't need approval. The life that you are does not need approval. It's a process, a thought story that needs approval. I have a story about myself, which I feel very uncertain about. The stories are very uncertain, aren't they? Personal stories are very uncertain. that uncertain story feels insecure and it needs to feel safe. Maybe that's it. Learning about my experience. I wanted to be liked. I wanted to feel like, I wanted to feel like, God, I remember. Like I mattered. Like I mattered. Why would I need to know that I matter? It's because the thing that thinks it needs to be mattered is fake. It's a fake construct. That construct that I used to have is gone, so I no longer need approval to feel good about myself. I don't even need to feel good about myself. I just am. What was that? What was the construct? It was a belief. It was a belief that I was not good enough. I was not good enough. That was my one. That I used to believe I couldn't communicate. Imagine. Isn't that everyone's? Yeah, but there were certain aspects to it. I believe that I couldn't communicate. I at the core root that everybody thinks there's something wrong with them. And there is. And that thing that's wrong with them is that they've got this story running which isn't true. It isn't true. That's what's wrong. They're living through a fake construct of a belief that this is what I am. That I am this body is me, that I have a list of things that I am, a lot of them negative. Before I came across non-duality, I was reading a book called You Can Heal Your Life. Part of it was repeat affirmations constantly. One was, I approve of myself. It worked for about 5 minutes. Yeah, you don't need to approve of yourself. You don't need to approve of yourself. You are. That's not going to, I'm going to approve. You're trying to approve of a fake construct. The belief, the story. Yeah, my story was I was unlovable. I was boring. I don't know if I'm lovable or boring. I don't know. I don't care. I believed I was unlovable, boring, couldn't communicate, wasn't good looking. It's a joke. I was a really good looking young woman. You look back and you think, why did I think that about myself? What else? Bunch of stuff. I'm unlovable and boring because blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Some long-running washing machine narrative that literally goes round and round and round and round. Yeah, it really is. It really is. It's all just mind stuff. And then you come across, you can heal your life with repeat affirmations. I approve of myself. What? I approve of this goddamn awful story that's just going round and round. Is that what I approve of? I don't need to approve. I don't need to try to exist because I do exist. I don't need to approve of anything. There's nothing to approve of. I approve of myself. That's like the banging your head against the wall thing. Just banging against your head against the wall, trying to improve, trying to heal a fake construct. It's trying to add a fake construct onto a fake construct. It goes nowhere. It's all just blah, 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 Jara says. That's all it is. So it's the same with wanting approval. So wanting approval is the same as I approve of myself. I want that fake construct, which I projected, to approve of this fake construct that has been conditioned into the brain, into the mind. So it's all just a la land. It's all over them. It's just like complete freaking chaos. When life is here, simply just sitting in a chair, speaking, looking at the sunlight coming through my window, drinking tea, not needing any approval for it. Not projecting onto what another being would be thinking about me and how I need that being's approval. I mean, social media, oh my God. Not all of that, not everybody, of course, but there's a lot of that goes on. That's why I don't do social media. I'm pretty sure the world is madder than it was, but before the internet. It's still mad, but not as mad as it is now. Now it's like batshit, isn't it? And there's so much approval wanted. It's like it's just gone crazy. There's nothing to approve of. This is life. Whatever I am is life. It's just all the same life. It's all the same life. It's the one life. Doesn't need approval. Doesn't even need it doesn't even feel it needs to exist, because it does exist. Doesn't feel like it needs to get anywhere because there's nowhere to go. Just relax. Whatever comes, comes. To live fearlessly. You would be at the mercy of anyone if you're looking for their approval. Absolutely. You'll be hanging on their every word. Pain. I call that pain. That is absolute pain. Well, a lot of people are at the mercy of other people's approval. They are at the mercy of that. They don't know how to just sit and just relax and not worry about what other people think. Life is precious. No matter what classic non-duality says, but that's so not nihilistic and a bit narcissistic as well. It's so nihilistic, it's narcissistic. Life is precious. It's precious to every one of us. Otherwise, we wouldn't be, doing this. To me, life is precious, so I talk about it, the preciousness of life. We are meaning makers. I showed up at the wrong time for my daughter's swim lesson. It meant so many things. I could see what I was saying to myself. Yeah, once you see it, you go, oh, there it is. There's the washing machine. Yeah, as soon as you catch it, you start catching the program. I am irresponsible. How could I? Now she's upset. Ugh, it's all my fault. Yeah, God, we just punish ourselves for the smallest things. Smallest things. Life is just flowing, and sometimes it doesn't turn up on time. Yeah, blah, blah, yeah. You know, we try our best, don't we, to get to appointments, whatever, but sometimes it doesn't happen. Instead of just, oops. Yeah, oops. My bad. Yeah. Yeah, that's heavy, man. I'm irresponsible. Yeah, that's a heavy program. I'm irresponsible. I am responsible is a heavy program. Me, you know, I know you've got children. It's just like, I'm responsible for my children. It's like, but you don't need to know that. You don't need to know you're responsible for your children. Like, I didn't need to know I was responsible for my daughter. I just do my best as a mother. I just did my best as a mother. That's all you can do. You just do your best as a mother or a father or whatever, carer, lover, friend. You're not responsible because then you've got all these fake ideas of what I'm responsible for. I'm irresponsible because I didn't show up on time to the swimming lesson. According to who? Oopsies, it's funny because I say to the children all the time when they fail, when they fall, no big deal, sweetie, oopsies. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But not to yourself, yeah. Yeah. Next time you're late for a swimming lesson, just go, oopsie. Ah. In the scheme of things, you know, in the great scheme of things, whatever that means, because I don't know what that means. In the great scheme of things, caring what other people think, which is the main problem, I think. Because even when you care what I think about myself, it's still often in relation to this so-called world. But in the great scheme of things, I think everything's mainly space and electrons. And it's all going to vanish at some point. And it vanishes when I go to bed at night. You know, it's really nothing. Really nothing. And right now, you know, in this thing called the world, I'm not talking about the earth. You know, that's fine. Trees, cats, flies. The world, the mental construct that is the world, is absolutely out of its mind right now. Absolutely over the top, batshit crazy. So batshit crazy that it will lock the world down for a year or two. It will tell people they have to do this, they have to do that, otherwise they'll die and they'll kill other people. I mean, it's the ultimate fear program. Incredible, incredible. So not only do we allow the program that's running in our own heads. We allow the outside program to run in our heads. And it's all the one anyway. It's all the one program, the one construct, the one wild, wild life. When I say wild, wild life, I'm always quoting a poem by Barry Long called Wild, Wild Life. I can't remember a quote from it. Wild, wild life, wild, wild fire, smashing through men's lovely gardens. Hear you not my symphony? What's the first bit? Wild, wild, wild Julie. That was his wife who died. Wild girl, wild streaming hair. The end of all that dies. That's beautiful. It's a beautiful poem. Very long. Very beautiful poem. He was wild. Because life is wild. We try to contain the wild. We try to contain the wildness of life into responsibility and fear and worry. We're trying to contain it into these little packages of worry and fear. In the great scheme of things, life is beautiful, and crazy, and sweet. And there is no key to it, of course, because nothing works. Does it, Cameron? Nothing works. But there's also the intelligence that somehow you can just see it like, yeah, it's life is wild and all my little worries are just nothing. I spoke my truth to someone regardless of the feel of losing them, and it felt good. Yeah, because if you're not speaking your truth, well, what's the frickin' point? We're just dissembling. And we're just dissembling. You're being courteous. You can be courteous. I'm courteous, but I'll still speak my truth, but in a courteous way. I'll drop the truth bomb in a courteous way. Unapologetically. Because fearlessness is also being unapologetic. I got nothing to apologize for. If I need to apologize, I'll apologize and let it go. If I've said something hurtful, which I didn't really need to do, which I don't actually, don't think I do. But anyway, if I did, I would apologize. But it's not the same as living apologetically. Isn't the key simply how you perceive it? Yes, simply how you perceive it. But there's no key to how do you get to that perception. You either perceive it or you don't. I don't know I just don't know how that works. You guys obviously perceive it because otherwise you wouldn't, you'd be storming off, holding on to your, whatever. Lying is the primary source of modern human stress, and speaking bluntly and directly, even about painful or taboo subjects, will make people happier by creating intimacy. By creating intimacy not possible. Hang on. While hiding things. Okay, yeah. Things, Blandon, radical, honesty. Don't know Blandon. Radical honesty. Yeah, just being, just being. Oh, that's the author. Oh, okay. Just being. Just being. Being without an idea of being. Being without an idea of what I shouldn't do. Being, because fundamentally, the human, when it's not, running around trying to prove itself to the world, is fundamentally peaceful, rather passive creatures. On the whole, you get the odd one, but mainly on the whole, human beings are often quite passive. A bit too passive sometimes. Maybe that's why we got ourselves in the state we got ourselves into. I don't know. Prove itself, hide itself. Yeah. Yeah, because I do these talks, right? And I speak from my own the way I see it, and the way I see it has changed, and that's what's got me basically kicked out of the scene, which is fine. But you see, what would the only option would be would to keep regurgitating a narrative which doesn't ring true, because I just don't see that narrative. I don't see it. I don't see that there is a me and a no me. I don't see it. I see that there's life, but there's also the potential for a program to be running. Not called the me, but just a program. Literally that. Literally that. What ended in my life was a program. It wasn't a me. I thought it was, but it wasn't. It was a program. I do examine things. I examine things. I spend a lot of time sitting around examining things and writing, taking notes and stuff. I do. I don't do anything with them, but I like to do that. And I had to examine the way I was speaking. I was like, something wrong with that. Something wrong. What is it? So I spent a month in Vietnam having a good time, but also examining what I was saying and seeing, is that ringing true with me? Like, no, it's not. Oh shit, now I have to go back and now I have to change it. And I know what that means. For me as a speaker, I knew what that meant. As soon as I changed it, I knew what was going to happen. But I'd rather live fearlessly, than lying, living a lie, pretending to be something I'm not. I don't know what I am, but I know what I'm not. It's like that wonderful Barry Long used to say it a lot. Used to say, it's best to know what you don't want than what you want. How do you see the difference between examining and searching? By looking at the words that I used to speak and saying, is that true for me? I wasn't really searching, I was just examining it. Like what Paul said earlier about doing the repeat affirmations, I approve of myself. Like if I was saying that, I had to go, I'd have to examine it. I'd say, is that true? Is that true for me? Is that true? And I'd have to say, no, it's not. I just know. You don't even have to search. It's just examining it and seeing, is that true, and knowing is no, it's no longer true for me. The words don't ring true anymore. I see it differently. Didn't need to search for that. I just had to take a look at it. Not get into a rut of routine and I don't like dogma. I don't like it. Yeah. It's like holding up I don't know, like a pair of glasses, say, right? And say, do I really like these glasses? I'm going to examine them. Actually, yeah, they're all right. I like my little round glasses. I don't have to search for it. I just know. I just know. There's nothing getting in the way, you see. No needing to have approval from, the non-dual scene. If that got in the way, it'd be difficult to examine the way I was speaking. See, that's the difference. There's, like, if I allowed it to influence the need for their approval and their acceptance, if I needed that, it would be difficult for me to examine. If that makes any sense. I think a lot of that has to do with my character as well. I was kind of always been that way. When I was a child, I was always looking for evidence of fairies. It's just a thing, I'm sure a lot of us like that, here like that. Couldn't it be said the world is no more than projection of self? The projection is now in a frenzied state to prove it exists, or the death of self is the real fear. Yeah. I really like this quote. I have to read it again. Couldn't it be said the world is no more than a projection of self? I would say it's a projection of, the self, but not in the self as a real thing that is a real thing. It's more like of what the mind believes itself to be. The projection is now in a frenzied state to prove it exists. It really is, isn't it? It really is. It's like we've all people have all added to this one projection called the world. I'm not talking about the world as in like these glasses. These glasses are just things. The world is a mind construct, and it only exists there. Well, the death of self is the real fear. I think the fear is that I'll no longer exist. Yeah, maybe that's the death of self. Yeah, I'll no longer exist. So the self is looking for affirmation it exists. So if it's let go of as the completely unreal construct that it is, there's the fear that I'll no longer exist. But it's a fake program that's wanting to prove it exists. And it probably fears that, yeah, I'll die, or my whole life will fall apart if I don't prove I exist. The projection is now in a frenzied state to prove it exists. That's really good. I like that. Living without counsel. Yeah, without counsel. Because when you're honest, when you're really honest, when you've got brutal honesty with yourself, right? That's not the program. Do I really think this? Deep down, you know. And like if someone said to me, "Oh, I don't know, I'm not sure," and I'd be like, I wouldn't say it to them, but inside I'm like, "You do know, you do, you do, you know." You're just not being honest. Yeah. Yeah, a tree doesn't need to prove it exists. My cat doesn't need to prove it exists. It's the death of the world. It's the death of this projection, this narrative that is both a projection of a narrative here and a projection of a narrative out there. It's all the same one. It's all the one projection. I think it's both. I think it's both those, Wayne. If it's fear-based, it's coming from the mind. It is, yeah. Always. Always. Because when the body's in fear, it reacts immediately. It goes into, like I was walking up in the hills. There's this beautiful meadows full of flowers. I mean, it's crazy good. And this big dog came up to me. It was barking in my face for ages. And I didn't dare move. I just sat there. It was bark, 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 bark. Like literally like this. And my heart was, I was like, no, I can't show any fear because it might bite me. So I just sat there with my eyes closed while this dog was barking in my face. And I knew that, no, the body knew, like, don't move because it'll bite you. I didn't have to even think about it. It just knew. So that's real fear. That's the fear of damage to the body. But all the rest of the fear all comes from the mind. It all comes from belief. All comes from belief. The belief I'm a bad person, I'm a good person. I'm a boring person, I'm an exciting person. I'm a needy person. I'm a controlling person. All these things, all this way of trying to control this program, this person. I think that's what people want to escape from. That's what people want to end. They want that to end. The relief of that ending. But there is this fear that I'll stop existing. But it's always been this. It's always been here. I've always been here. This has always been here. That's never ended. It's never changed. And guess what? When all those beliefs go, when that fear narrative is cracked, it's still the same it always was. Never changed. Nothing ever moved. This never moved. I've never moved. I've never aged. Yes, and the blah, 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 please. Yeah. Well, stop believing in it. It's a bullshit narrative. Because when it comes to an end, you'll see that it was nothing but narrative, nothing. That had belief attached to it, and that's what makes it painful. That's what makes it painful, because there's a belief attached to it. And when that belief drops, you'll see that nothing ever moved. Nothing. It's astonishing. but so obvious and so normal and so simple. Nothing special. Nothing special. Because the mind, the program wants to be special. I want to be special. I want to be liked. I want to be interesting. I want to be funny. I want to be important. I want to be seen in a good way. I want to be special, please. And then it's like a survival thing. I want to be best person. I want to be this, that. Exhausting. It's freaking exhausting. When that cracks, you'll see that you never needed to be special. You never needed it. Never ever needed anything. Because life is, and it's absolute, absolute. Doesn't require anything. You can just sit back and just smoke a pipe. You're like the image of relaxation, Cameron, with your pipe. Or for me, sit back and have a cup of tea. That's my pipe. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I see that, like, you never needed to be special. You never needed to be loved. People will either love you or they won't. It doesn't matter. Oh, hi, Melanie. I'm just finishing. I'm just finishing. I'm sorry, love. Yeah, so it's gone past 8, so I'm going to go. And next week is Zoom. And I've really enjoyed tonight's talk. We've gone places, haven't we? It's been really good. Really good. So I think, you know, I have the wrong time. Oh. Well, if you want to listen to it later, it'll take about half an hour, then it's loaded onto Patreon. It's good to talk about the nitty-gritty, isn't it? That you know, we just want to sit back and smoke a pipe, right? To not have this thing running around and around. Getting us nowhere and seeing that, you know what? Life is eternal. Eternal. It goes nowhere. It doesn't move in time, and yet it is, and it's wondrous and elegant, and can't pin it down, can't box it up. I would want to. All right, on that note, I will leave you lovely people. Thank you for joining. Love you all. Bye.